Well, hey, everybody. Today is August the 26th, Sunday night, 2018. We have got a bunch of boss babes called in tonight. Like, bam, we're doing it. So it's crunch time. We have 5 days to the end of the month. If you count today, there's a little bit more time. Some of you are calling from California. You guys got plenty of time. You still got the day. But the month ends on Friday. So we have got a lot to do. But guess what? We've got time to do it. And here's how you put Friday in perspective is, let's say you're on your last day of the month and then someone goes, hey, I'm going to go and give you 5 more days. You would be so excited. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I can get 5 recruits in 5 days, right? I mean, you would be like the last day of the month or last day of the year, and they said, we're going to just go ahead and extend it to the 5th. And you would be like, oh, it's like a gift. It's like, woo! So I want y'all to feel that way right now. You got 5 days, plenty of time to get recruits, plenty of time to get production in, plenty of time to do facials, plenty of time to do parties, get guests at the meeting, and everything that you need to do this week. So what you don't want to do is go into panic mode. And that's when you have a big goal and it's 5 days left and you have not seen any progress. And it could be due to your own, maybe you haven't worked very much this month, but maybe you've been working hard and you still haven't seen a lot of progress. So whichever one it is, if you've put in and planted the seeds, you're going to see the results. I mean, that is biblical. You can't put in efforts and not, if you sow seed, you will reap a harvest. That's biblical. So if you've not sowed seed and you're thinking, oh, I'm in big trouble. Well, you got to do some double time this week. And we've all been there. We've all had times where we're like, I wish that I hadn't taken off so much this month. Now I got to do everything I could have done it leisurely. Now I've got to do it in beast mode all week long. So lots of stuff happened the last week of the month. There's people that joined Mary Kay the last week of the month and getting their red jacket before the end of the month. I had a girl once that Tammy Whittam, she joined Mary Kay 3 days before the end of the month. We got her 5 recruits. She got on target for her car. I'm just saying. So it's fine. You guys are going to finish strong because that's what you're going to tell yourself, and what we say, we do. Because the words have power, right? So we're going to speak what we want all month long. And there is a song I downloaded this morning that was on the Top Director Vox, and it's called Greater. And let me tell you, in fact, I'll just put it on the Voxer group. Her first name is Elisa. Can't remember her last name right this second, but I listened to it while I was getting ready for church this morning, and it was one of those where I just listened to it. It just kept repeating because I didn't change it. And so I listened to it like, 7 times, maybe 7 times, 8, I don't even know. And at the end it says, my best days are yet to come. My best days are in front of me. And that you're greater, who's inside of you is greater than you. So you got this. And it is a great song. And I mean, I want y'all to listen to it when you just really every day, right, the next 5 days, download it and listen to it. And like I say, I'll post it on here in a little bit, or on the Voxer group. But the best days are to come, and it's the next 5 days. That's all there is to it. So I've already declared it. Don't worry about it. Get out there and work, because the best 5 days of the month are the next 5 days. Okay? So y'all got to be all in agreement with me that that's the case. Everybody give me a nod head. Yes? Yes, I see a few of you. Okay. Some of you are awake. Some of you are not. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with y'all. I found something that it's funny. It was written in 2013, and it was 5 habits to cultivate this year. But I'm going to kind of do it for 5 habits for us to cultivate in our Mary Kay business, between now and the next, let's just say the next 4 months by the end of the year. And it's hard for me to believe that after 5 days, we only have 4 months left to the end of the year. That is crazy. So I feel like we just started 2018, don't y'all? So I don't know what happened. But the best 4 months are the next 4 months. That's what I know. That's what I already know. I've declared it. So y'all can write these down if you're taking notes, or just think about them. Okay, so number 1, these are 5 habits I want you guys to think about, and we're going to apply them to your Mary Kay business. Number 1 is ask more questions. Ask more questions. Asking questions seems easy, doesn't it? It seems easy, but honestly, how many times have you talked to someone, and at the end of you telling some kind of story or whatever, they ask no questions about what you said. Instead, they just tell another story of their own. Or they ask you something that you just told them, but they weren't listening. Okay. And, we can all think about our husbands probably when we say that every now and then, right? So let me read this to you. It says, asking questions seems easy, but it has demands on many levels. First, it demands that you actually listen. You must suspend your own thoughts, stories, and advice to make sure you hear what the other person is actually saying. Second, it requires curiosity. Maybe you think your girlfriend's story about her mother is completely boring, but there's a reason she's telling you. So think about a question or two you can ask her. Often I find asking questions about how someone feels in the situation can bring to a deeper conversation. What started out as a boring story might turn into a very meaningful conversation. Third, asking good questions brings dignity and value to the person you're talking with, whether it's the bagger at the grocery store or a mentor you admire. Make it a goal to be the person that someone says, that's a great question. So I want you to think about that in your Mary Kay business, okay? First of all, I want you to think about it at a party. And if you go by the flip chart, you'll see there's a lot of questions in there. And I've seen some of you do the flip chart, some of you that are newer that have not had a lot of practice. And when you ask a question from the flip chart, you're supposed to stop and let the guests sitting around the table answer the question. Okay, so remember that. So like if you say, how many of you can see yourself owning your own Mary Kay business? Just stop and say, to me, that's the one question they changed, and they need to change it back the way it was, which says, if you were to own your own business, what would be one thing you'd enjoy about it? I like that question better. And then I go around the room. They changed the flip chart, and it says now, who could see yourself owning a business? And to me, that's just my opinion, right? It's too early to ask that because all of them are going to go, no. But anyway, ask questions. At the parties, ask questions. There's a lot of times through it. One of them says, how many of you tell the truth, wash your face morning and night? Don't skip over it. Wait and let them all answer. Ask questions. And so what happens is when you're asking questions, that person gets involved. And she's just not sitting there staring at you with blank looks on your face. This summer, I have taught our Wednesday night Bible class for the ladies at my church all summer long. The last one is next Wednesday. And the ages range from probably there's a few that are younger, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, but most of them are probably 60 and 70 and probably some 80s even in there, some older women. And a lot of times, like we've been watching this series on the book of James, and then I facilitate questions, and I'll ask, and they just look at you. And, and finally, I have to call on people. I'm like, well, what do you think, Marie, about whatever, And once people engage, then they're paying attention, right? And it's just like when you're in first grade and you're looking off into the sky and somebody goes, Maclita, what did you think? Y'all know it's my real name. You probably didn't know that, but that's what they used to call me because it's my real name. But anyway, so during your class, at the end of the class, there is a place to do your closing questions, and it's right in your flip chart. There's 6 questions. Just take your flip chart to the couch with your girl and ask the 6 questions. And you just say, you know what, I'm just going to ask you these 6 questions that are on this page. And so the first one says, did you have a good time tonight? Yes, I did. How does your face feel? Great. Take the back of your hand and feel it. Do you have any questions for me as your beauty consultant? And let her go to that. Say, what of the miracle set did you like the best? Great. Did you circle the sets you'd like to take home tonight? Can y'all memorize those questions? And then you just go through them. And then it says, what will be, for your follow-up facial, what's better, in the middle of the week, end of the week, and you just go right through and book her, And so ask the questions. All right. Second time to ask the questions is during the interview process. This is something that is so key, because if you just read the facts about the company, or you sit there and tell her your 1 hour and a half story, and she is thinking about other things after about 4 minutes. Like, seriously, she's like, I wonder how long this girl's going to talk. And she might even be looking at you, but she is really thinking this is a lot. So you have really got to get her talking, and the only way to get other people talking is to ask them questions. And you want to ask them about their job. What do they like the best about it? Can they see themselves doing that the next 5 years? What are their dreams and goals? And on that little sheet that has the career chat that we talked about, it has questions on it. So ask those questions. And as they tell you about different things, ask more questions, because the more you ask, the more you're going to learn. And then you can gear the marketing plan to her specifically. Because there's nothing worse than someone trying to tell you how great it is to be a stay-at-home mom when you don't have kids. You know, or you're telling some chick that has 3 kids, you know, about how great it is to be able to go on 3-week vacation with your husband without, you know, kids. Or I don't even know, you know, you just need to apply it to that girl. If her main thing is being with her kids, then you're going to talk about how Mary Kay, she can have more time with her kids, right? If she doesn't have kids, you might talk about traveling and what she can do with her husband and things like that, you know. Just gear it to what the things that she might like. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is write gratitude. W-R-I-T-E, write gratitude. So I'm going to read this little thing to you this woman wrote. She said, recently received a letter in the mail. I was delighted to open a note of encouragement from a young friend in my church. The letter was unprompted and not related to any one event. And then the person said, what's funny about the experience is that I was in a terrible mood when I sat down to write those notes, he told me later. But by the time I finished writing them, my mood was completely changed. Intentional gratitude shifts something inside of you, altering your perception of the world and your worries. Make it a goal to write 1 thank you email or letter each month. And I'm thinking that's a little too few. But anyway, unlike a mundane thank you note that follows a gift, an unprompted note of gratitude does 2 things. It forces you to recognize the ways you're blessed, and it blesses someone else. It may be difficult at first, but you'll find that intentional gratitude shifts something inside you, altering your perception of the world and your worries. Isn't that awesome? And let's see if I got it right here. So, is this not cute? All right, so I got this little thank you note in the mail last week from my girl Jana, who's right there on the phone. Just a sweet little thank you note with a pineapple, a little pineapple bookmark. And then the same day, I got a note from, let me see if this is it, my girl Latrice. And she sent me, which I really like, this says cupcakes or muffins that believed in miracles. I just love that, especially when sometimes I feel like a muffin top. Okay, so maybe I'm really a cupcake. And she sent me a little pineapple soap on a rope and this really cute pineapple. It's like a thing that you, little hand napkins for like your, like a guest bathroom or whatever with pineapples on it. It's adorable. It's adorable. And the same day I got the 2 pineapple things. I'm like, I'm going to Lanai. I'm doing $1 million. I mean, it was so encouraging to me. And one of the reasons it's so encouraging is because we don't get notes in the mail. All we get is bills. And we have anything handwritten. We get so excited, don't we? Y'all, my music just started out of no reason. There we go. I don't know if y'all could hear. Did y'all hear it? Yeah. Think about it. You can be in higher love. Okay, anyway. So little notes. They make a difference. And one of the things Mary Kay Ash used to teach us, she said, when you book a party with a hostess, someone agrees to have a party, you're like, whoa, hallelujah, right? She said, right then that day, you go ahead and you write a thank you note. And she said, just get postcards or you can do a note, whatever, and say, thank you so much for agreeing to host a party with me on Thursday night, 7 o'clock at my house or whatever. Can't wait to see you there. I know you'll be my hostess of the week. And that's what she used to do. And then when the party's over, that night, she goes ahead and writes, thank you, Jana, for being an awesome hostess. I hope you enjoyed the party as much as I did. Your friends are wonderful, and I can't wait to be your beauty consultant for life, or whatever you want to say. Just something short and sweet. Mary Kay used to say, don't freak out about having to do a lot of words. She'd say, take a Sharpie and write big. That's what she said. And stick it in the mail. And so she said, you do 2 notes, one soon as they book and then one soon as the party's over. And what people do, like, here's the thing. I throw away a lot of stuff, but what's right here on my desk are these thank you notes. And then underneath here, like underneath my computer, I keep them because I like to look at them and I don't want to throw them away. And they mean something to me when someone writes me a note, and I just think, like if you ever have a down day, you need to have your little box, your little notes. And so people I mean, I don't read this and go, oh, that's so nice, Latrice, chunk. Thank you, Jana, chunk. No, I can't throw them away. I have thank you notes little love notes, and I'm just going to keep them. In fact, I got to respect them better than even throwing them on the ground. So make it a habit to write some notes about your business, for your business and other things too. It means something. And sometimes you don't, you don't get a thank you for a thank you note, right? But just know that people, even if they never say anything, they keep them. I've gone to people's houses that I've written a note to, like some of my consultants, and it's up on their refrigerator, or up on a bulletin board, so they do mean something. Okay. Number 3 is be on time. Ugh. Y'all are like, oh, let's not talk about that. Okay. Let me talk about being on time. First of all, if you're ever late, it's, you either have one or two ways to think about it. One is you've decided that, I know I'm always late. I'm late to everything. I can't get there. I'm just like, I'm always running late. I got so much to do. Can't do it. And it almost don't bother you anymore because you're always late. Okay. Or the second way is, oh, I hate being late. Like I almost rather not go than to be late. Okay. You might be on one or two extremes. Okay. So let's talk about being on time. Some of us operate with a huge mental clock that's constantly ticking down the seconds, and others of us, well, we're lucky if we know what year it is. But whether it comes easy or not, being on time is about intentional choices. It's not, I like this right here. It's not always about choosing the most efficient thing. I'll just write one more email before my next meeting. I'll just answer this one more text before I leave. Okay. Or the most enjoyable thing. I'll just hit that snooze just one more time. That's mine probably. Being on time is about honoring people around you. And sure, I get it. The doctor always runs late, or your friend is always 15 minutes late for your coffee date, but that doesn't mean you have to. In fact, pack a book, better yet, bring your thank you cards. And those extra minutes give you the opportunity to be peaceful and present. And so in your Mary Kay business, of course, you want to be on time to your sales meetings, if at all possible. Now, I know some of you work until like 10 minutes before the meeting, and you're really doing good to get there. And honestly, we appreciate as sales directors you getting there. We really do. We really do. So, we're not saying if you're 5 minutes late, don't show up at all. We're just saying make an effort, right? For your parties, though, like your Mary Kay parties, it's very unprofessional to be late to do a party for somebody. It's very unprofessional. And what I usually do is if I have a party at 6 o'clock, I usually tell her, say, well, if it's okay with you, I'm going to arrive at about maybe a quarter after 5 just to set everything up and have everything ready to go before your guests get there. That way, when they come, I can not be setting up. I can really, we can do satin hands, we can profile, whatever, and I can just be more prepared. Because really, if you're on time and ready, you're not stressed out because it's all done. When you get stressed is when you get there at 10 till and you're slapping down trays and you're in just like a hot mess. And guests are coming in going, hey, and you're going, I'll be with you in a minute. Just sit over here, fill out some profile cards. You're like a crazy girl, right? So by going early to your parties and setting up, you're going to feel a lot less stressed about your parties. You really will. And when they get there, they're going to feel relaxed. It's almost like if you were going to get a massage and your massage therapist is running around like a crazy girl. And she's going to stress you out. And you're like, I'm here to unwind, and you're stressing me out because you're running around. Where's my oil? Can't find my oil. Let me see. I got to get some towels. Here's the flip-flops. Look, I'll be back in a few minutes. I got to go check on this other girl. No. Okay, so think about that. Give yourself ample time to be ready and be prepared. For my sales meetings, I really like to get to the hotel 1 hour before I see everybody. Because honestly, I like to be there and have my stuff up, if possible, before my girls come in so I can talk with them, right? Or have someone help me do it. So, and then when I'm rushed, I don't like it because when someone comes in and I'm busy, I don't feel like I'm giving them my best self and my proper attention, okay? So I want you to think about being on time and honor the commitments that you make. if something happens, it always happens. If something happens, not always, but like sometimes things happen and you're driving and there's a wreck, or like in Valdosta, the big thing people say is I got caught by the train, which is so true because sometimes you do. And then you're there 10 minutes. Have the common courtesy to call the person and let her know you're going to be late. I mean, that's common courtesy. Okay. So be on time. Let me also say, don't be too early. If you're listen, let me tell you when. If you're going to someone's home for, let's say, an interview, okay, if you're going to her house, you don't want to be, if you say you're coming at 1, you don't, and that's when you're supposed to be there, and you come at 20 till 1, that's as bad as being late. Because that girl is trying to get ready and she may be doing something else and it puts them uncomfortable, So, what I do a lot of times, like like some of you are, sometimes maybe I'm running early, I'll just really simply just maybe park down the street or sit in the car, and I may just, do some, I mean, we got our phones, we can entertain ourselves for hours, can we not, with our phone? And so, I might do that and then go up to the door at, 5 till, a couple minutes till. So think about that too. All right. Okay. Number four is choose real-time interaction. And I've got a great example for this. Real-time interaction. Okay, here's the thing. Most people, they hate the phone. They don't hate it to text people, but they've gotten to where they don't want to answer the phone. They don't want to talk on the phone. And it irritates them when people call them on the phone and they're like, why don't you just text me? And we've just really gotten a kind of a bad habit. But let me read this, okay? Even if you hate the phone, what you might hate worse is trying to craft text messages or tweet replies that convey subtle emotions. This one woman that wrote this, she said, last year I made a conscious decision to only use electronic communication to convey information or encouragement. Anything else, it needs to get skewed. Anything else tends to get skewed. So when you start to wonder what your friend really meant by that text message, stop texting and pick up the phone and call her. Okay? You can save yourself a lot of wasted emotional energy, and you also convey something else, that your friend is important enough for you to cease Candy Crush, turn down the football game, and actually converse. Use the phone, or better yet, get face-to-face. Even FaceTime sometimes is great. You may not always be able to keep up with as many people, but your true friendships will benefit. And so there's a girl that she is a Pink Cadillac director from Canada, and her name is Chrissy Larson Ratzlaff, something like that. And she's just a doll. And she says, I get asked all the time, Chrissy, how did you build a successful business living in the middle of nowhere without even the ability to get on Wi-Fi? She's out in the boonies in Canada, okay? Her answer, pick up the phone. When it comes to sales, the phone is the most powerful tool. Don't ever think that because we're so connected through social media, text, and email that replaces one-on-one conversations. Why? Number one, words matter. Having a conversation with someone gives you an extra layer of emotion that other forms of communication simply cannot provide, no matter how many emojis you use, right? Number two, it builds relationships. A phone call allows you to listen and react to the other person's concerns, especially when you're building a new relationship. Being able to hear the other person's change in tones is essential in helping fulfill their needs. Remember, the whole purpose of selling something to someone is because it will solve a problem in their life. It's about them and their needs, not about yours. And number three, it saves time in the long run. Emails and texts go back and forth many times to accomplish one small task. Picking up the phone takes just a few minutes and is much more effective for answering questions and concerns your potential customer or a team member may have. So, pick up the phone. Just make it a goal to talk on the phone some during the day. Back in the day, when we walked through the snow to get to school, I know that's what people think when you've been in America a long time, but back in the day, we only had the phone. No texting. We didn't even have voicemail at first. There was just phone. And then people got caller ID. That was exciting. But before that, all we had is phone. So there was only one way to book your parties. And that was to pick up the phone and call people and ask them to hold a party for you. That was the only way. Or see them in person. I guess there was 2 ways. See them face to face or pick up the phone and call them. That was it. And then email came along. And like when email came along, you could send an email, but that didn't, it was kind of new. So you really didn't know if people looked at their email. They weren't even having to check it because it certainly wasn't on your phone. So it'd only be when you got on that home computer every now and then on dial-up. Latrice still has dial-up, but other people, that's a little faster. But anyway, and then, of course, we got the texting and everything else. And so, but you know what? When you really want to have a conversation with somebody, it's kind of funny because, like, I love Voxer for one reason is that you can at least hear someone and then you can go back and forth. And that's why with my consultants, I would rather them send me a Voxer message than type out a question, because then I can answer her back so easily instead of send 10 jillion text messages. It drives me crazy. I'd rather just give her the thing. She can play it over and over. But if there's a lot of stuff we need to discuss, it's much better for me to talk to her over the phone, because then we can go back and forth and I don't have to wait and listen to a 9-minute message. I can just talk to her, right? So, but either way, I like to hear the voice inflection. And so talking on the phone, you need to get back in the habit of it. Why don't you look on your phone bill on your cell phone and see how many minutes you actually use besides talking to like your family. How many minutes did you actually talk on the phone? Used to we only had like a certain number of minutes, right? And we go, I got to go, my minutes are running out. Nobody runs out of their minutes because nobody uses any minutes. It's just the truth. Okay. So so that was number 4. All right, number 5. This one is use the weekend rule of decision making. And this is kind of long on here. So what this is talking about, when you're trying to make a decision about something, instead of making a rash decision, take 2 days to think about it, to pray about it, to ask God to help you make the decision. And how I apply this to the Mary Kay business. Occasionally, you may get frustrated with your Mary Kay business. I mean, we all do every now and then. And then you may not be as seasoned as me in knowing that getting out that's not one of the choices that I'm going to be making. So you may be thinking, this doesn't work. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then all of a sudden you call your director and you tell her you're quitting or whatever, take a couple of days, because anybody knows you do not make decisions when you're emotional. You cannot make a good decision when you're emotional about anything. So if you are emotional, maybe you're emotional because you have had a difficult week. Maybe something in your life that has nothing to do with Mary Kay has come in, and now you're just all in a tizzy, and then you're trying to make important decisions about your Mary Kay business. And maybe you're thinking, like, I don't have time to do parties anymore. I just got too much on my plate. I got to let something go. And then what can I let go? Oh, I know. Mary Kay. That's the last thing I started, so that's the first thing I'm going to drop. Wrong answer, okay? You're not going to do that. You're going to think about it. You're going to pray about it. You prayed about probably making more money and having some choices, and Mary came into your life. Don't dump it out of the window just when it's not going as fast as you want it to come, because – and that's just like another thing to not make decisions like that is about if you have a goal, maybe your goal was, I want to get on my target for my car. I'm going to get on target for my car in August. And then it hadn't been going good. You're like, all right, I'm not getting on my car. I don't want to win a car. I don't even need the car. I love my car. I mean, I don't even like Chevys. I'm a Ford girl. You talk yourself right out of it. Don't do that, because if you ever had a goal, I got a goal poster on the wall over there. And if I put it on that goal poster, at some point, that's what I wanted. Or why would I written it there, right? So you look at that goal poster you did July 1st. A lot of us got together and did goal posters. Revisit it. What did you want? And what are you doing towards it? And let's go back. Don't make rash decisions. Take some time. And then after, there may be something that you do need to make a decision on. And after you prayed about it and talked to the Lord about it and give a chance for you to make a good decision or God to change your mind, then make a decision, but I just thought that was a good tip. This was not obviously a Mary Kay 5 habits, but I'm turning them into Mary Kay, but I thought it was still good. And all these habits have one thing in common. They are other people's, other-centered instead of self-centered. Asking questions about taking the posture of a learner, not assuming you already know it all. Intentional gratitude reminds us we're not the center of the universe. What? No, we're not the center of the universe, okay? Being on time and choosing real interaction expresses to other people, from your mechanic to your best friend, that they are valuable to you. The weekend rule is a choice to live differently, not by the winds of your own decisions, but with intentional choice of inviting Christ to be your Lord and help you make the decisions. So on this particular thing that I read, it was like at the beginning of the year in January. It says, so before you try to say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this year, instead think, I want to be a better person this year. And these are 5 things that I think that would help all of us be a better person. And if you incorporate them to your Mary Kay business, it also is going to help you be a better Mary Kay consultant, okay, or director. And then I want to end this part of the training with this, which you guys probably have heard, but I think it's so good. Watch your thoughts. They become your words. Watch your words. They become your actions. Watch your actions. They become your habits. Watch your habits. They become your character. And watch your character. It becomes your destiny. And so that's why you want to pick good habits, because that is forming your character. And that character is forming your destiny, you know. And we all have room for improvement. Y'all agree? I mean, all of us probably in every one of these habits see a place where we could improve. Nobody is just got the, you know, the handle on I am Miss Perfect, right? So it's just some things to think about that I picked up, did want to share with you for this week. And so I want to do a few reminders, and I want to give you a challenge. The reminders, first of all, the preferred customer lookbook that you guys signed up for the fall came out. And you should know this because you would have got your own in the mail this week. Okay? So that's your sign that your customers got them. So now is the time to pick up that little cell phone and call somebody. Hey, Jana, this is Cleta. I'm just checking to see if you got the lookbook in the mail, Mary Kay's new fall catalog. Do you see anything in there that you'd like to have a sample of or you'd like to try? Matter of fact, I have a goal to book a 10-party week. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if you could get 2 or 3 of your girlfriends together and you could get like all of your fall stuff at a great deal. How does that sound? And you know, I haven't facialed you in a while. So I was just thinking this would be a good time for us to get together. And you might be sick of all your, you know, summer clothes like I am, and you're ready to have a new fall look. Okay? Pick up the phone. Call some people. Call some people. And at the very least, they're going to say, well, I got the book. You know what? I don't have time to do a facial right now, but I do need some things. I'm so glad you called me. I mean, that's the worst thing that's going to happen to you, right? Okay. So follow up. We already talked about the month end. Friday is the month end, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, midnight Central time. The Star Consultant quarter ends on September the 15th, but I want you to have a goal. Some of you are already stars. A lot of you are already stars. Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations. I think that's due to a lot of us put orders in at the end of June, help your unit, different things like that. So, but if you're not already a star, finish your star by the end of the month. And then go for being more than a sapphire. Go for being a ruby by the 15th. And don't forget that if your new consultant that signed up since June 15th does a 600, that bumps you up to another level, you know, another star level. And so, or 600 more points. So that's the key. I mean, I'm trying to get a hair dryer. I mean, like, I have 7,000 points and I need 9,600 to get a hair dryer. So at some point, somebody has to order $2,600 for me to get a hair dryer. So either I'm going to have to do it or I'm going to have to go get some recruits to get a hair dryer. I'm going to have to go around with, I should have a thing that I'm not going to dry my hair until I'll get it. So anyway, that's my motivation for getting some more recruits to get my hair dryer, you know? So what do y'all want to win? Pick that out. Okay. Don't forget that if you're on this Voxer call tonight and you're on our Voxer group, our Boss Babe Voxer group, you have to be on both. So if you're on this, but you aren't on Voxer, then you're out. If you're on Voxer, which you won't hear this because you're not on this, But if those women on Voxer do not listen to the call, and I will know it because all y'all are going to get on the Voxer group and say, I was on the call, Cleta, or I was on the call, say your director's name, whatever. They're not in it. But if you're on both and you get a recruit, your name is going into a drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card. And the directors are all pitching in to buy that for y'all. And so we have a bunch of people that are that are on the Voxer group. And so each director will have to confirm that their girl is also on the Boss Babe calls. Now, can that girl listen to the Boss Babe call later and still be in the drawing? Yes, she can. But you have to let your director know that you watched the Boss Babe call. And it's pretty easy because we know what it was about. So you're going to have to tell us, right? So, Boss Babe call, $100 drawing, $100 Amazon card. There's so much you can get for $100 at Amazon. I got this beautiful organizer for my makeup. Love it. So, and that's only half of a $100 card, all right? And then the last thing is on Friday is Aretha Franklin's funeral, her wake, her celebration of life in Detroit. I decided not to drive to Michigan. It's killing me. I can't hardly talk about it. I just went back and forth. And then when I finally thought maybe I'll do it, the registration is out. They can only take so many to get to go to the funeral. However, so I'm crying in my soup about that. However, it is going to be televised. So you guys may want to watch it. You know, like turn on your TV some on Friday and you'll see it. It's going to be a great celebration. There's all kinds of, people going to be performing at it. It's like a 4 or 5 hour deal. Some people are going to say it's 6 hours. But anyway, I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. And the news is all over it. There's all kind of things. But it's going to be great publicity for all of Mary Kay all over the place, whether you're there or not, okay? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So watch the news a little bit. You'll see a lot about it on Facebook. Share it with your page because even people that use Rodan and Fields will go, wow, Mary Kay was at Aretha Franklin's funeral. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Any other company, they're not there. It's us. And it's not about Mary Kay. It's honoring Aretha Franklin. But, we've been attached to that freeway of love and the pink Cadillac for years and years and years and years. And so I think it's pretty awesome what they're doing for Miss Aretha. And then just the backsplash of what, the publicity Mary Kay is going to get just because of it, I mean, even though that's not why they're going, it is pretty cool. So that's what's going on this week. And I know we got Labor Day weekend coming up. So decide how you're going to end the month. If you're going out of town for Labor Day and for a vacation or whatever with your family, don't you want to end this week on a high note, like kick some pink tail this week and being like, man, I busted it in August, and then go take you a couple days off if that's what you need to do, and then let's hit it hard in September. September is the 55th year anniversary with Mary Kay. And so there's a lot of cool things that you could do to celebrate that in September. And one of them that I would want to challenge you to do is do 55 faces in September. 55 faces, and then just get you a big poster board and say, I'm going to put Mary Kay on 55 people in the month of September in honor of our 55th anniversary. And then at the same time, you might say, I'm going to share the career plan with 55 people. 55 people. You're like, wow, Cleta, that's a lot. That's a lot. Woo, it is so much. It's 1.5 person a day. 1.5. Okay, so it's not that much, you guys. Seriously, 2 a day, whatever. I mean, honestly, you could take 2 people, bring it to your meetings or whatever else. Share it with everybody you facial. But if you did that, if you did 55 interviews and 55 faces, you would probably be on target for your car with 10 new recruits. That's probably what you'd have. I mean, that'd be awesome, right? All you could be DIQs, every last one of you. Every last one of you. So think about it. If you want to commit to something like that, let your director know so that we can encourage you in all ways, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop this.